Been here 15 minutes ago, but I don't think you would have liked the smell.
Yeah, it seems to be good.
Well, thank you for that. Right, that's very thoughtful of you.
I was thinking of somebody else, actually. I didn't think he'd approve.
No,
Thank you.
seems to be really good.
All right.
Nice little
That was it.
Everybody's ready? I'll call this meeting to order. Please rise. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Twyla.
Sure. Councilor Garrison?
Present.
Councilor Lunt?
Here.
Councilor McTevier?
Here.
Councilor Beckford?
Here.
Councilor Ward?
Here.
Councilor Pesky?
Here.
And Councilor Brunel?
Here.
And the first item, please.
Under good news and recognition.
Councilors have any individual good news and recognition?
I have quite a bit. I had to write it down on my phone as I was preparing for the meeting. 2 weeks ago, there was a downtown walk that started at the library. We went down Main Street and then went on A6 with Dennis and Tracy, and there were about 20 citizens that showed up. It was really nice to see people get involved and kind of look at what our opportunities were and what we think our strong points are with the downtown. So that was nice to see. I then attended the Lisbon High School graduation. 100 seniors graduated, and one of the really cool parts of that was $1,061,160 was given out in scholarships to those 100 students. And part of that was $46,000 came from individuals or businesses in Lisbon, in the surrounding area, to give out to those students. That was really exciting to see. The other thing I wanted to mention was congratulate Mark Stevens for the National Coach of the Year for wrestling. He was named that. And then I did get an email this morning that Moxie will now have a carnival that will go Thursday through Sunday, and it'll be down at Don's Automotive. Right now there'll be 12 rides, so there's a lot of stuff going on with Moxie and in the community.
It'll be fun. Anybody else? I think you covered everything for us. Thank
Okay.
you. All right. The next item, please, Twyla.
Is a public hearing for an Adria Grow, an application for a new 6-month itinerant vendor permit.
I'll open the hearing for the application for a 6-month itinerant vendor permit. Is there anyone here to speak for Adria Grow?
Just Adria.
Okay.
Geez, I don't know where to start. I want to sell lobster, so that's why I'm here to get approval for.
You're the one that's going to be selling them at the Big Dipper?
Yes,
Okay. Did you do that last year?
I did not.
Did not. There was somebody else that did it last year.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is it going to be like lobster rolls and
No, just live
lobster.
lobster this year. Yeah, sorry.
that's the lazy part of me talking. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Great, thank you. Does anybody else have anything? I'll close the hearing for the application for Adria Grow. The next item, Twyla?
Is another public hearing for Rock Dogs. It's an application for a new itinerant vendor permit, a victuals license, and the use of town property, town-owned property.
Okay. I'll open the hearing, this permit and license.
Yeah, my name's Don Bollier, and I'm proposing setting up down there with a hot dog cart at the trail, Paper Mill Trail, boat launch.
Well, it looks nice.
Everybody should have a picture of, basically, that's a, just a tentative setup. I tried to make it look as close to what I would be doing as possible in the exact spot. You can see I've got the recycle and trash cans where they would be. And I'm also proposing to take care of trash that's mine and others at the beginning and end of each shift. So basically, I don't care if it's a fishing bobber or an empty cigarette pack or whatever. Do my rounds before I start while my cart's heating up, and then do a cleanup when I leave. Both the tables down by the waterfront and the tables that would be close to where I'm located.
Great. And what kind of hours are you going to have, Don?
I got to feel it out. On the application, I don't even remember what I put, a pretty wide range of hours there, and
Yeah.
7 days a week, because I'm going to have to figure out what works.
Probably not in the rain.
I don't know, I might have to tough it out, you know?
Okay. All right.
People will drive up and sit and eat hot dogs in their car, I'm pretty sure, so they don't care if I'm getting wet.
I know I will. I was down and saw Frank.
I've had a lot of positive feedback about it. I had a yard sale, and at my wife's advice, I rolled my cart out so people could see it, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about when they came to the yard sale. So people were saying they missed having Frank down there and whatnot, and so.
Great. Are there any other counselor questions? Great. Thank you, Don.
Oh, thanks.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
There was also a note that the Economic Development Director asked about the
yes.
council consider excluding Moxie Day weekend, that if Mr. Bowyer wanted to join the Moxie Festival on Moxie Day weekend, that he could fill out an application, become a vendor or something.
Okay. Did you get a copy of that memo, Don?
Probably didn't and hasn't
Oh,
been aware.
okay, the suggestion, because we ask vendors during Moxie Festival to fill out a separate vendor application from anything else, the memo was asking that the only exception to your rule would be that you would have to also, if you wanted to be open on Moxie weekend, apply for a Moxie weekend vendor license, like all the other Moxie vendors.
Okay.
And
There's several things going on at the boat launch on Moxie weekend.
right, there's a lot going on down there, so.
Yeah, okay.
I would recommend, would Dawn have to talk with the folks?
Pastor Jonathan Jones, who's the
Yep.
vendor chairman, and if you're interested, you can find the applications online.
It should be fairly simple. That way, you wouldn't get there expecting to be able to open and not be able to, and I think that's really what that would help mitigate. So I think it would be in your best interest to do it, too, so.
Okay, and that's just for Moxie Week during the festival?
Just that weekend, yeah.
Yeah, there's a boat race or something down there?
Yeah, the Chief Warumbo race. yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of business.
So that's a separate application?
Right.
To be able to be there on that
Yep.
set of days?
Either that or you could take the time off and enjoy the festival. But I wouldn't think you'd want to do that.
I don't think I know.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Might be-
All right. All right.
Is the only place that you plan on setting up right down at the boat launch, or were you
Yeah.
going to go somewhere else as well?
No, that's it for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just asked because in the memo we had here, we just talked about municipal property, so I didn't know if you were thinking about more than one location.
No, that would be the only municipal property unless, I was thinking there was some good spot during the Moxie Festival to
Okay.
be at. Otherwise, I would probably want to be a lot more experienced to be handling a large crowd. 'Cause,
Okay.
you want to do about 6 hot dogs a minute at a gathering, a big event. I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
You
Frank
have
can
to
teach you.
start early and practice a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might give us some pointers, yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you, Don.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Dot.
As long as he's selling Moxie. Frank always had Moxie, so.
That's a pretty important question, Don. Are you going to have Moxie?
On my menu, it lists the sodas, and it says Moxie at the top, and it says in parentheses off to the side, of course.
Judging from the response, I think that was the right answer. All right, is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Seeing no one, I'll close this hearing. And the next item, please, Twyla.
Is audience participation for agenda items. Those in the audience who wish to address agenda items may do so now. Please use the microphone at the lectern and state your name for the record.
Is there anyone who'd like to speak? Okay. Seeing no one, we'll move on to the next item.
Audience participation response, guess there'd be none. Consent agenda. Any counselor wishing to have any item removed may do so now. Seeing none. Order 2014-90 to approve the minutes of May 20, May 27, an itinerant vendor permit for Adria Grow, itinerant vendor permit, victuals license and use of town-owned property permit, excluding Moxie Day weekend for Donald Ballier, doing business as Rock Dogs, and a renewal victuals license for Billy Harris, doing business as Bill's Place.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0.
And the next item, please, Twyla.
Under Council Orders, Ordinances, and Resolutions, Order 2014-91, review mobile home and personal property delinquencies.
Jessica?
Sorry. Try not to cough right in the microphone. So before you, you have a list of mobile homes that there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mobile homes that at some point through the course of this past year were issued a mobile home permit. And the timing of such was they came in to request the permit to move their mobile home, and it was prior to our commitment. And these mobile homes have since moved, so they're no longer within the boundaries of the town, or at least with at these residencies. And so upon commitment time, they were assessed a value, and they're not there. So we need to clean these up and get them off the books because the property is not there to collect on. So before you, you have a principal balance of $2,447.08 to consider for write-off.
It's just the principal that we need to...
Actually, I'd be looking for the complete amount owed. I mean, the interest is really irrelevant because it's... We'd be writing off the whole balance. I'd be looking for the $2794.39.
Okay, so we'd actually be writing off $27.94.
That would be the motion, yep.
Okay. Do we have any questions from council?
There's no way to go back after the back?
We've done everything we can. The property's no longer in the town, so we're hitting a wall trying to get anybody or reach anything with this. These happened at a time when we were in frequent transition through the front counter, and they were overlooked. So my recommendation at this point is to just write them off.
If there are no other questions, I'll accept a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion is to accept the finance director's advice to remove it from the books.
Right.
All those in favor?
Passed, 7-0.
The second sheet in front of you is personal property. I have one that I'm bringing before you. We do have other personal property delinquencies, but we are working on collecting at that point. Sorry. The one I'm bringing before you is for Fournier's Machine Shop at 101 Lisbon. It used to be at 101 Lisbon. The business is no longer in town. You can see from the years on here, they haven't been in town since 2007. This has just been sitting as a liability on our books. So my recommendation is just to write this off in the amount of $9,368.80.
Any questions?
There's no way to go back after this one either?
No, I mean, if I remember correctly, this gentleman is no longer alive.
Okay.
So there's no property left. The business hasn't been around since 2007, from my understanding. So I've just been trying to clean up the books, and nothing's been active on this since '07.
So they didn't pay anything from '01 through '07?
Evidently. We don't have this is the only one that's long-term. Everything else is possibly 2012, 13, so, and we're working with all of those pretty diligently. Haley McCrader, our deputy tax collector, is phenomenal at collections, and she does a wonderful job. So she's been working very hard, and you'll hear in my finance report how well she's doing.
So we're looking for a motion
Yes,
to remove the $9,368.80.
I'll make that motion.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And the next item, please, Twyla.
Is other business, Finance Director's report.
I don't know why I moved. So before you have my report for May. To summarize revenues, May brought in $146,320. State revenue sharing, which you will see in the year-to-date column next month, brought in $67,000 and is 88.08% collected at $502,000 year-to-date. Our 4-year average collection rate at this point in the fiscal year is 86.15%. However, our 3-year collection rate is 91%. So given this, I expect to be within $12,000 of our budget this year of $570,000. So give or take right around $12,000. Excise tax brought in $128,000 and is 97.05% collected with $1.2 million year to date. Our 4-year average collection rate at this point is 91.65. So again, we're above that average collection rate, indicating that new vehicle purchases are happening. And we're continuing to see that both online and over the counter. So this is good news all around. These numbers are as of 5/28. All the revenue numbers are as of 5/28, so there will be an increase in the June report in the year-to-date numbers because we still had 2 working days, and end of the month is pretty big for people renewing their vehicles, so I'm sure you'll see those numbers jump. And that's all I have for revenues, unless you have questions for me.
We expect the state to pay up the rest of their revenue sharing that they owe us.
I expect to be within $12,000. You know, based on our past collection, the last 3 years, at this point, we'd be 91% collected. We're only 88. I'm thinking we'll be within $12,000 of that number, if not the full amount.
What if we got that excellent tax collector of ours to help?
That would be great.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Any other? Okay.
Moving on to the expenses, the total expenditures for the month of May were $114,247. This is net of the $300,000 that we received from the insurance company on the Public Works garage. The gross monthly expenditures were $415,651. Of this, our personnel costs equated to $379,000, or 91%. This includes wages, benefits, and insurance. Our contractual services made up approximately 22% at $90,000. This is primarily due to waste disposal fees of $22,000, legal fees, revaluation services, streetlights, and town building expenses of $20,000 relating to our electricity, heating oil, natural gas, and phone charges. Our trail expenses equated to a negative $120,000, or a negative 28.7% of expenses, as we were reimbursed from the state for 80% of the portion of the costs incurred since the last reimbursement. So that's what came in May. I do have a few areas of concern. We are now overexpended on legal charges by $10,000 with 1 month remaining. We are overexpended in the abatement account by $12,512, though I do not expect we will see any further abatements coming in or anything of significant value coming in at this point. In the town manager line, I still expect to be around $35,000 overexpended by the end of the year. And Winter Public Works is overexpended by $94,000 related to winter sand salt purchases and wages. All in all, we may be around $150,000 overexpended, offset by only approximately $83,000 in overlay that was budgeted. This leaves a deficit of approximately $67,000. This, of course, is assuming nothing major occurs in this last month of the fiscal year. Other than that, everything else looks to be within reason, and that's what I have for you for expenses, unless you have questions for me.
What was the deficit number again?
67, approximate, estimated, not set in stone.
I had one under the finance department, the contractual services. Looked like that was overspent by quite a bit. Was there?
Oh, that's from postage.
Okay.
And you'll see that move in June. It's actually going to be a prepaid item. We had filled our meter, and so with the auditors, we'll be able to move that as a prepaid expense to carry for next year.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other questions for Jessica?
The last thing I wanted to update you on is tax collection. As of May 31st, we have collected 96.15%, or $10 million of the total tax commitment. Last year, we were only 91.25% collected at this point. That's a difference of about $1 million, so we're about $1 million ahead of the game this year than we were last year. We have 30-day certified lien notices going out shortly. As of 5/31, we have 325 past due real estate accounts. So approximately 70% of these, or 250, will receive the 30-day lien notice based on the balance owed and what will trickle in for payments to hopefully offset that 325. So we're looking hopefully to only send out around 250 lien notices. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
All right, and the next item, Twyla?
If there are no objections, the council chairman would like to take up the appointments at this time. Seeing none, we'll move to appointments. Order 2014-92, the Library Governing Board, 1 regular member. This is a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017. It's currently held by Jessica Meakin. You have 2 applications to consider, Winter Giddings and Jessica Meakin.
Before we go any further, I know we have a couple of appointments and reappointments going on here, and I just want to check with council and see if there are any counselors who think that will require interviews. I think, okay, because I just wanted to, if we needed to interview, we should probably do that before we do the appointments, so. All right, if we don't feel the need, okay. All right, so if we'll move forward, if you could just recap.
You're looking at the Library Governing Board. There's 1 regular member for appointment. It's a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017, currently held by Jessica Meakin, and you have 2 applications to consider, Winter Gidding and Jessica Meakin.
Okay. We did receive a memo from the Library Department and the Library Governing Board with their recommendation. Both applicants are clearly qualified and anxious to help out with the Library Department. But we did have a clear recommendation from the Library Board and the Library Department to reappoint Jessica Meakin. So I would look for discussion or a motion.
I'll make the motion to appoint Jessica Meakin to the Library Governing Board.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0.
I'd make a note before we move on. The other applicant was Mr., I just want to make sure I'm saying it, Mr. Giddings, who's very well qualified, and I would encourage Mr. Giddings to...
Mrs.
I'm sorry, Mrs.
Ms. Giddings is in the
I'm
audience.
sorry. No, I even knew that. But we would encourage you to be involved with the Library Department and its different projects, because it's a really, it's one of the things that we're most proud of here in Lisbon. And we were excited to see another applicant, so thank you very much for doing that. Thank you.
I can assure you that there'll be another opening at some point in the future, so, definitely apply again. I think you'd make a great addition.
Yes. The next item, please.
Order 2014-93, the Ethics Panel, as one regular member for appointment. It's a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017, currently held by David Bowie. This is a reappointment for David Bowie. Only application that was received as well.
Okay. And do we have a motion
I'll
to,
make the motion.
I'll second it.
all those in favor?
Actually, point of order, I believe by the charter, it's up to the council chair to nominate, or to actually appoint this position.
No, actually,
Check
did
it.
you? No, we're not looking for the chair at this point. We're
Okay,
just looking to reappoint
okay,
Ms.
okay.
Because I didn't think we could
Right, you
appoint
have
the
to-
chair
yeah, you're
before he
right.
was actually a
Right.
member again.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
So it's just a reappointment of the
Just a regular-
position at this
right, okay.
time.
All right. All those in favor of reappointment? Thank you.
Yep. Order passed, 7-0. And then Order 2014-94, the Ethics Panel, one alternate member. It's a 3-year term and expires June 30th, 2017. It's currently held by Thomas Whitney. And Thomas Whitney is the only applicant and is a reappointment for you to consider.
Do we have
Make
a
the motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-95, there's an appeals board, one regular member opening. It's a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017. Position currently is held by Janet Tuttle. She has reapplied for reappointment, and it's the only application.
I wish to appoint Janet Tuttle to the Appeals Board.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-96, there's a planning board opening, one regular member, 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017. Position currently is held by Dan Niesel. This would be a reappointment. There was only one applicant.
Do we have a motion to accept Mr. Niesel for the 3-year?
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-97, there's another planning board opening, one associate member. It's a 1-year term expiring June 30th, 2015. It's currently vacant. It was previously filled by Karen Parity, who moved to become a regular member. And you have one applicant for a new appointment, Richard Long.
Do we have a motion to accept Mr. Long?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-98, an opening assessment review board, one regular member, 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2017, currently held by Richard Long. This will be a reappointment. You have one application from Richard Long.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-99, you have an appeals board resignation from Richard Long. This creates a 2-year term expiring June 30th, 2016. But we feel once that you've appointed him to the planning board, it would be important to consider the resignation from the appeals board.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept Mr. Long's resignation from the appeals board?
I'll make that motion.
And a second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Order 2014-100, the reappointment of civil constables. You have 3 applicants, but I was informed today that one is no longer in the running. So Ace Security would like you to appoint Harry Darling and Harry Gorman at this time.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept Mr. Darling and Mr. Gorman as civil constables?
I'll make that motion.
And do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. Now, if you would like, we could return to other business. Item B, Council Chairman's announcement of the annual appointment of the Ethics Panel Chairman.
The ethics panel has been chaired by Mr. David Bowie, and I see no reason not to reappoint him as the ethics panel chairman, and we appreciate all his hard work and look forward to not hearing anything from the ethics panel.
Okay.
Thank you. And the next item.
The next item would be under audience participation for new items. At this time, those in the audience who wish to address the council may come forward to address items that are not on the agenda for this meeting. Please use the microphone at the lectern and state your name for the record.
Okay.
My name is Richard Nettle, Lisbon Falls, Maine. First of all, I'd like to thank the council, and particularly the town clerk, Twyla, for helping me, especially Twyla. She called me about 3 times about the farm share, and I managed to get it when it came out. The other thing I'd like to bring up, I used to be on the Trails Commission, and there was a person I couldn't work with, and, well, I'm not going to go into that, but does the town itself have some kind of a master plan of how far we're going to go with this, the trails thing? We're going to have all kinds of trails, or we're going to have specific trails like, say, like what you got now when the Mill Road and now the new part that you're building on there? We're going to have more than that, or the multi-use trail, or from the bridge? Is there plans, or is this going to come to some kind of a halt here in the future? The other thing is, I think you need a master plan, some kind of a master plan here, if you're going to go on or anything like that, like we have from the 3 sections here they just did here recently. I think you need one of those. Another thing might be to consider putting the Conservation Committee and the Trails Committee together into one. I know you need, I think it's 3 on the Trails Commission to complete that. Maybe this is the time to put them together. Another thing, maybe change the charter a little bit so that, like this here is in the charter, where you can change the number of committees or get rid of committees much easier than having something listed in the charter. If that wasn't there, you wouldn't have so many problems with that. And there's just some things to think about. I do think that maybe the time has come to put the those 2 committees together, though. You need a master plan too, I believe. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Nettle.
Let's wait. Yeah.
Dorothy Fitzgerald, Lisbon Falls. These probably should have come in under good news and recognition. Anyway, I applaud the 2 new businesses. Even they're temporary, but it's nice to see new businesses. Another one, Randy Smith, doing business as Pinky D's, was recognized on, what was it, May 20th, as Chef of the Year. The Green Ladle, the American Culinary Federation Chef of the Year had an awards dinner at the Ramada Inn in May, and Randy Smith, as Pinky D's, was awarded Chef of the Year. And he's right from here, and that's good news.
It is. Thank you, Dot.
Second, the new Public Works building. The ETTI building is a great building in a great location, and it would serve a lot of uses and purposes. But I'm wondering if the town has considered looking into a steel metal building. They go up quickly. They're fireproof. They don't leak. They can be, you can build it as big as you want, and probably could be built a lot less for a lot less money than the ETTI building. The ETTI building and property is absolutely phenomenal and wonderful and would be great, but I'm just wondering if it's time, if maybe we should consider something, an alternative as well, a little less expensive. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else?
While she's on that subject with the new town garage, I spoke earlier, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, that we should
Could you
take a
state
look
your
at
name?
Oh, excuse me,
Just
Frank
for the
Hogan.
record. Okay, just for the record.
Yeah, thank you. So, you know, I was glad that we took a look at something new here for the town crew. I'd really like to see possibly a new garage built. I think maybe we can come into it under, what's a bond, 1,600,000?
1.3.
1.3? Oh, because we got 3 already. And that would be just possibly spent to purchase a new building? The total, Dylan, would that be the 1.3 plus the 3 to purchase a new building, or pending which
I'll wait
way?
till the end. We'll wait till the end.
Huh?
We'll wait till the end to respond back.
Okay, all right. So if we could build a new garage roughly down where they are, either excavate that one down, or Buttons was telling me on the corner lot where all the grass lot is there to build a garage there. The school buses are there. I heard they want to maybe 10 the school buses also now. Might be a good idea. I don't know about that, but you guys do the homework more than I do. The ETTI building is top of the line building. I could see possibly a nice big business like the old Hudson bus line, or a nice bus line, or what if Amtrak came into town one day, the railroad tracks are there. I don't know if that building's big enough for Amtrak trains to come into that, for a depot. I mean, that's state-of-the-art building down there. That could probably bring a good revenue to the town. So that's all I'm thinking a little bit. So possibly a new town garage, built on its own, built a little cheaper. Scotty get the right buyer down there, do Scotty well too, do the town well for taxes. And then I always like to talk about the fire department, future. This is just something I always think about. If we could put one fire department in Lisbon Center, that's 3 miles, the town's 6 miles long. One new station there, possibly 5 nice trucks, a nice fire department. You know, you're 3 minutes over here in Lisbon Falls, you're 3 minutes Lisbon, town of Lisbon. So those are just thoughts I have. So something to think about. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Neto?
I forgot a couple things. My name is Richard Nettle. I'm from Lisbon Falls. I forgot a couple things. Would it be wise to put all these trucks, and if you put the fire department and some of the buses in here, would it be wise to put it in there in case you have another fire like what you've had in the town garage? The other thing is, I've also heard that the mill rate with the budget and everything like that is supposed to go up something like 5.2 mills. I hope that's not true. And I'm just kind of killing a rumor. I hope it's a rumor that I've heard. This $50,000 that the town manager here, our interim town manager, spoke on TV. We're going to save $50,000 if we go this route. Where is that money going to go? If we're saving money, why not put that, if it's possible, I don't know if it's possible, to pay that bond off quicker? In 10 years, that's $500,000. We could pay that thing off rather than spend it somewhere else. I think we'd be a lot better off, because people don't have much money in this town. I mean, the jobs are just not here. It's taken a long time to get where we are right now, I mean, the whole country. Thanks, bye.
Thank you, Mr. Neto. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? All right. Next item, please, Twyla.
Council's response to new items.
Okay. I believe that Councilor Bickford would like to respond to Mr. Neto's questions about the trails.
At the end of the month, Dick, I'll be able to inform you probably in a lot more detail about the rails to trails. That will be probably the next it won't be a real town project. It'll be a 3-town project. And it will make the railroad bed from Knight Celotex. It's probably going to go to Da Vinci's in Lewiston. And it will be a multi-purpose trail to the new park and ride that they have where the old Flamingo restaurant Flamingo Hotel used to be. And then from there in, it'll be more of a walking bike bed like we have here to Da Vinci's. We are in the major stages this month. There'll be 2 meetings this month. And on the other account, Frank, that'll tell you there's not going to be Amtrak coming through. That is from the head DOT man.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'll be able to tell you more at the end of the month. And I will start letting things out then. I think that we're going to have things pretty well ship-shape by then, one way or the other.
Councilor Bickford has been going to more meetings than I can count to get this show on the road, and we're fortunate that he's so dedicated. And I think we are all anxious in a really positive way to see the outcome of that work. Councilor Bickford, thank you. Mr. Neto, you also asked us to consider combining Conservation Commission and Trails Committee. And that's something that's been considered in the past, and I don't think it's completely off the town council's plate, so it is a good question. And Dot, thank you for adding the good news, especially about Pinky D's. I had the opportunity to attend a dinner at the Ramada one evening that he also was the chef for, and he is a really wonderful chef, so we're fortunate to have him be a member of our community. Mr. Olmsted, one question that came up was the question of our tax rate going up by 5.1 mils. Do you have a response for that?
I do. I'm not sure where that number comes from. The council is working through the budget process. We haven't identified a potential increase in the rate at this point. We will be doing that very shortly, but I can tell you that it will not come anywhere near 5 mils.
Thank you. And we had a couple of folks mention ETTI and questioning the different options that we had, and I'm pretty sure almost pretty much everyone has seen these brochures. No? Are these the new ones?
Yeah, this is a new brochure that we put together, actually at the request of several citizens who came into Town Hall asking what options had been discussed or are under consideration. So what we did is put this brochure together that we're handing out to folks as they come to Town Hall. I think there are a few around town. It's not going to be mailed out. But I think this brochure does a good job in identifying the 3 options that primarily staff has investigated. The first option would be to purchase the ETTI building. Second option, Longchamps purchase that building. Both owners have indicated a willingness to sell. Or the third option would be to build a new structure. And we, Dot, you mentioned building a new structure could be less costly. We went to a local contractor in Lewiston who would prefer not to be named, because if the council were to build and not purchase an existing building, he certainly wouldn't want his numbers out there prior to a bidding process. But he put together numbers for us based on an 18,000 square foot building that would accommodate both school bus maintenance and public works operations, and his number was slightly over $1.3 million, well below the budgetary number of 1.6. So we feel very comfortable that we could build an 18,000 square foot building and stay well under budget. There was a reference to a $50,000 savings if we were to combine school bus maintenance and municipal public works. That number was generated by the superintendent of schools and myself. What we did is we analyzed the school department's costs for current school bus maintenance, and we determined that we could save at least $50,000 by combining those services. We looked at just the parts list alone that they purchased over the past year and compared their cost to municipal costs. On parts alone, we could save an average of 40% in parts purchase. And we've talked to our 2 mechanics and 1 mechanic-to-be about taking on the municipal or the school bus fleet, and they felt confident that that could be done. And I know it can be done because the town of Freeport, where I used to manage, has 2 mechanics that handles the entire municipal and school fleets.
Thank you, Mr. Olmsted. I'm sorry, Dot. It's not a discussion time, it's question and answer. The questions were already asked, and now we're giving the answers, but we'd be happy to hear your questions after the meeting. Any other counselors have any responses?
Madam Chair, if anyone, I passed the brochures out to the council. If anyone would like a brochure or more, they're here for your taking.
I have not only seen but heard from folks that Mr. Olmsted is easily approachable if anyone has any questions about the bond issues with regard to the Public Works Department. And I'd encourage anyone who has any specific questions or even general questions just to drop in or give him a call or send him an email. The next item, please, Twyla.
Madam Chairman, I think it'd probably be appropriate to just inform the council while we're talking about the bonds and the questions, to let voters know that absentee ballots are available until Thursday at 5 p.m. at the town office by stopping in to vote in person or by calling and having it mailed. Municipal and school ballots, we've had requested 121 requests, and 87 have been returned. And state ballots, we've had 82 requests, and 57 are back.
Great. And what's the deadline for absentee voting?
To absentee vote by 5 p.m. on Thursday, and then after that, it's by special circumstances only.
Okay.
We're going to the polls from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. next Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you, Twyla.
And the next item would be council communications.
Great. That was an easy thing to lead into because the first thing I wanted to do was remind folks that Tuesday is voting day, and we'll have our bond issues, the Public Works garage, the high school track, and the high school gym will all be on that ballot. Those are general issues for all voters. If you're a member of a party, they're primary. This is also primaries time. So I urge everyone to vote, and whether it's absentee or in person. Then also, in speaking with Mr. Olmsted, and just listening to what's going on around us, we know that people are asking about which public works garage option the council supports. We're offering 3 options because we want to make sure that we keep the options open so that we can talk more about it this summer so that we can determine which option is the best for the town. But we know that we need to get a move on things, so we know that we have to move this bond forward. I'm going to say in general, The council supports the ETTI building option. We're simply stating it as our preference, and we'll certainly listen to our constituency, make sure that we hear what you would like us to do. But so far, this seems a viable, affordable, and solidly good option. We're still working out details, and we wouldn't be asking for it if we didn't think that it was a good option, not only for the short term, but for the long term. In addition, I also wanted to remind folks that Thursday night at the high school is an informational night, mainly for the school bond issues for the gym and the track. If you have any questions or concerns about those bonds, or simply would like more information, the folks who've been doing the informational meetings have been extremely helpful, and it's really the perfect time to go and get those last-minute questions answered. So I think that's at 5:30 on Thursday night at the high school. Any other communications from council? Okay. I'd like to add one personal note. I had to be away for a family emergency for 2 very long weeks, and I would like to say that I was very appreciative of the kind words and support, not only from my fellow counselors, but from everyone I talked to, and it was much appreciated by both me and my family. So now, thank you. And the next item, Twyla.
Seeing there's no executive session, order 2014-104 to adjourn.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
And a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Order passed, 7-0.
It's unbelievable. Less than an hour.
Record.
First time in 37 years that's happened to me.
My son was concerned.
Why?
He wasn't sure you knew you should be here. He was extremely.
I saw that.